Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have some extremely important and exciting news to share with you guys. And I have literally been waiting to share this news with you guys since like February, because this is when I found out this news. But the reason why I've been waiting for so long is because this whole thing that's happening is actually happening this August. And since we are in July, I feel like it's the perfect time because it's just closer to the time of this whole thing happening. And I just thought that if I told you guys way ahead of time, it would just not be as exciting, I guess. So pretty much what's gonna be happening in August is very life-changing. It brings a lot of emotions, but overall it's just extremely exciting, and I just couldn't be any happier. So enough of, just chitter-chatting. Let's go ahead and tell you guys what's gonna be happening this August. So pretty much I'm going to be transferring to Chico State. I know, right? So freaking exciting. But anyways, let's get to what this whole video is gonna be about.
Hey guys, future editing Kimberly here. I just wanted to go ahead and point something out really quick before anybody else did. So for the next couple of clips, you are going to see that there's two random strands of hair poking out onto my neck and shoulder. And if you look even closer, you can see my bright ass bra strap. I know that will probably irritate a lot of you because it definitely bothered me as I was editing this. So I just want to go ahead and sincerely apologize about that. Yeah, I need to make a better job of, looking at myself before I start to film. But anyways, let's continue the video. Bye!
So, as I did mention, I am going to be transferring, which means that I have been attending another college prior to Chico. And that college is simply a community college here in Sacramento where I live. And see, the thing is, I've actually been attending this community college for the past 4 years. Yeah, I've been going there since I graduated high school. So, I pretty much should have graduated this year with a bachelor's degree, but that hasn't happened. I'm pretty much gonna be explaining to you guys why that is, and I'm just gonna pretty much be briefly talking about my college career as of the past 4 years leading up to the present. So let's go ahead and start off with tiny little college freshman me. Ever since I was in 8th grade, I've always said that I wanted to be a nurse. So when I was applying to college, I declared the nursing major. Since I've been looking into this nursing major for 6 years prior to attending college, I knew a bunch about nursing, and I most of all knew that this was an impacted major. And if you guys don't know what an impacted major is, it is pretty much a major in which there's more applicants than the amount of people that a certain program can accept. For example, if 500 people are applying to a program, but the school only has 80 spots to take in, then that means that about 420 people are not gonna get accepted. I mean, 420 people is a lot of people, so if you're declaring a super impacted major, then you should know that you're gonna have to work really hard to stand out in those applications so that you can get a chance to even be considered to get accepted. But see, the thing is, even though I knew that nursing was very impacted, tiny little college freshman me didn't really pay too much attention to that. I was like, you know what? Yes, it's impacted, but I'll still get in. That was my mentality. I was just like, it shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, it's impacted. That's probably what they say just to scare you. Big mistake, obviously. I was just used to, high school life. I wasn't, ready for, the real world where you have to actually try for things. So, I start my whole first year of college and I finish it, and guess what? I end up with a bunch of C's. Now, I did get 1 A and a couple B's, but I did get 3 C's also. I'm pretty sure you guys have heard of the phrase, C's get degrees, and yeah, that is true. But when it comes to an impacted major, that's obviously not good. So now, moving on into my sophomore year, I still got like 2 more C's on my transcript, which wasn't good either. But once I got towards the end of my sophomore year, I started to realize that 1, I wasn't going to be transferring after my sophomore year, and 2, that I had to get my shit together, because that's when I started to look into nursing applications, and that's when I started to realize that C's were just not gonna make it. I still had a couple more general ed classes and prereq classes that I had to take, and a lot of the prereqs that I had left to take were a bunch of science classes. For the most part, science classes in college are very hard. They're worth about 5 credits or units, and I was like, okay, I really need to better my grades, especially with those prereqs, and I need to make sure that I get at least B's, but aiming for A's for sure. And I was like, if I take these classes together, I'm most likely gonna end up stressed out and I'm not gonna be able to do good in either of them. So I decided to take them in separate semesters. And since I had about like 2 or 3 left, that meant that I was at least gonna have to spend an extra year and a half in community college to be able to take them separately and be able to fully focus on them. So that's what I did, and yes, I did actually do way better. And the good news is that those grades actually got me to meet the minimum requirements for all of the nursing programs that I wanted to apply for, which was great news. But see, here's the thing. If I just barely meet the minimum that a program requires, that's not really gonna, make me stand out. That's just gonna show that I just barely made it. Since there's about 499 other people that are gonna be applying with me, those don't look like good odds if you ask me. So I quickly began to realize that even though I did meet the minimum to be able to apply to the programs, I most likely wasn't gonna get accepted. So that's when things started to go very downhill and I was stressing out a lot. I was like,
I already wasted this extra time in community college, I haven't even transferred, and I'm most likely not even going to be able to apply to the program that I want to apply to. And I was like, I just took all these classes for no reason, now I'm going to have to look for a different major. If I don't get into any of these, then it's just going to take extra time, blah, blah, blah.
I was stressed. Your girl was stressed. So by the time I finished taking all of those prereq classes and I finished taking the rest of the general ed classes that I needed to take, I was at my fall semester of my 4th year in college, aka my senior year of college at a community college. So yeah, that was kind of like sad, if you ask me. So I started to apply to nursing programs that fall, which was last fall 2018, in order to be able to attend them this fall of 2019. But since I realized that I most likely wasn't gonna get accepted, I was like, I might as well not even apply to them. So then I started to look into lower nursing programs, as in like no longer looking into BSN programs, which is a nursing program to get your bachelor's. I started looking into LVN programs or RN programs, which an RN gets an associate's degree in nursing, and then an LVN, I believe you just get like a certificate in nursing. And I was kind of bummed out because I was like, I already spent all these years in school just to end up with an associate's degree or a certificate in nursing. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that. Like, if I'm going to take extra long in school, I might as well get a bachelor's degree instead of just an associate's. And I'm not saying there's nothing bad with getting an associate's degree or anything. Any degree is good. But just for me, I have always wanted my bachelor's, and I just didn't want to just end up with an associate's after these past 4 years going to a community college. I was just stressing, to say the least. But then I remembered that there's this friend that I have. He was actually majoring in nursing himself, but then he ended up switching his major. He actually told me that that major required mostly the same prereqs as nursing did. That meant that if I majored in this major, I wasn't going to have to take any extra classes to be able to apply to that major or anything. I already had those classes taken. And so pretty much this major is called health administration. If you guys don't know what that is, it's pretty much just the business side of the whole healthcare field. So you deal with like the finances of hospitals, you can manage a hospital, you can even become a CEO at a hospital. There's a bunch bunch of things you can do with this major. So I was like, okay, well, I don't really know much about it, but it sounds pretty cool. The thing that pretty much sold this major to me was the fact that I wasn't going to have to spend any extra semesters at a community college, and I was going to be able to apply to it right away. And I was especially happy that it was a bachelor's. I still was gonna apply to, like those LVN programs and those RN programs because I still had my heart on nursing. But at least I was happy that I had found a plan B. But then, as I mentioned, I just really did not want to end up with an associate's degree or just a certificate. And that just quickly made me change my plan B to my plan A. So I just ended up applying to like one RN program or something like that here in the area. And then I ended up applying to like 2 four-year colleges for health administration. And so fast forward to February, I end up getting my acceptance for Chico State. I actually got like early acceptance, and that was pretty much the end of my stress because I was like, I got into this program, it's a bachelor's program, this guarantees me that as long as I work hard, I will get my bachelor's degree in the next 2 years. And that just completely made me forget about the RN programs, the LVN programs. I was just all about health administration now. So that's when I had to pretty much say goodbye to nursing. It was kind of sad, to be honest, because like I mentioned earlier, I have always said that I wanted to be a nurse since like middle school. And the fact that now that was no longer going to be a reality, it did kind of make me a little sad. But I mean, I've had so much time to think about it ever since February, and I have come to the conclusion that nursing was most likely not for me. I'm a huge believer in the saying that everything happens for a reason. The fact that things just didn't work out with me for nursing were for the best. I do sometimes think about nursing and I'm like, oh wow, it would have been nice to, be a nurse. But then I start to really think about it, and I remember that any type of injury, even a bruise, makes me feel sick to my stomach. So I could only imagine if I actually saw a patient with like a twisted leg with their bones sticking out. Like, just talking about it makes me feel some kind of way. So I feel like definitely nursing just probably would have not treated me well. So I feel like choosing health administration as my new route is literally the best decision that I've made. I have looked more into that major and I have done my research, and I feel like I fit in very well with that major, and I feel like I can do big things with that career path, and I'm just overall very happy that I have switched to this major. So yeah, that's pretty much my story on my whole past college experience and why it's taken me so long to be able to transfer, and why I switched majors, and why I didn't end up doing nursing, and just it's a whole bunch of information. But I feel like I just wanted to first of all let you guys know that I'm going to be going to Chico, and that I'm going to be, obviously living out there. If you guys don't know, Chico's about an hour and a half to 2 hours away from Sacramento. I also wanted to, put my story out there. One, to be able to relate to all of those other students that probably have taken longer than expected to transfer to another school or just simply to graduate. Literally, it doesn't matter how long it takes you to do it as long as you are committed to it. As long as you have your mind on the prize and you don't get distracted and you don't quit, it doesn't matter how long it takes. You will eventually graduate. So I just wanted to put my story out there to make people feel better if that is their case. And I also wanted to just overall put it out there that if you are going to be majoring in nursing, you have to be very dedicated and focused since the get-go. I can definitely go ahead and make a more in-detail video about pre-nursing and about the whole application process and my tips and advice on pre-nursing and all of that. I can also go ahead and make a video on community college and how it is to start at a community college and all of that. But yeah, just let me know if you guys want to know any more information about any of those two things, or just in general, let me know about any other questions that you may have. I do want to let you guys know that I definitely am going to be making a bunch of videos out in Chico about Chico life, and I'm definitely going to be doing a dorm tour. I'm literally so excited. I feel like I already have a ton of videos planned, and even though I haven't even moved there. Yeah, I feel like I'm just rambling and rambling and rambling. That is my big news. And I guess I will see you guys next time I remember to record. Bye!